You must have mercy upon us. We have suffered enough. We have been subjugated enough. We have been tortured enough. We have been imprisoned enough. We did not do these people anything. Our only crime is to answer your name. Our only crime is to be born your children. Our only crime is to excel at everything that we place our hands into. Our only crime is to exhibit your glory and your blessing, which manifestedly is upon our lives every blessed day. That is why they want to kill us. That is why the British want to join those of them who don't know you to destroy your creation and your inheritance. You will not allow shame to befall your name. You will not allow the enemies to triumph over the lives of your children, because you created us to exist, to worship, to honor, and to praise you. That is exactly what we are going to do when this Biafra comes. It will come in truth and in every honesty, because we remain every blessed day. Chukwabiama believe whiter than white and whiter than snow. Is there any way that we have sinned that you cannot forgive us our trespasses, to enable us to fulfill your own word, which was spoken thousands of years ago, that instead of what you promised not to come to pass, that heaven and earth will cease to exist? You opened your mouth to bless mankind to the coming of Yahweh Yeshua, who came here and said, let your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. Those words can never be in vain, because they are anchored upon your holiness and your magnificence. That is why in the end we know that Biafra will come, that these children that we have given birth to all over the world, and their children, and their children, and their children, as long as they give birth to them and they are Biafrans, they will worship you in truth and honesty. Through this very work we are doing, mankind will come to understand you. Let your miracle be wrought in our lives. Let us witness and behold your magnificence, your holiness, your mystery, and your grace under our command. O Lord of hosts, we call upon you. We call upon you to heal. We call upon you to provide succor to those of them who are inconsolable. We ask you to come and strengthen those who are weak. We ask you to restore hope where there is hopelessness. We ask you for inclusion where there is destitution. We ask you for one brotherhood, one camaraderie, one bone, one blood, and one flesh of your children. The Efiks and the Bibios, the Izon, the Shekiri, the Isobos, and also those of them from Isoko. We are traveling all the way to the lands of Igala. We are moving on from there to Idoma, to Igede, to the territories of the Igbo land. All these places we dedicate unto thee. All these lands of yours, we ask you to cover it with your mercy, because Biafra will come, and when it does, we will dance on the streets. I'm telling you, by the time that we are done, humanity will think that we are mad, we are drunk in your glory, and rightfully so, because your kingdom will come to rest upon this very earth. That very kingdom is the unadulterated, non-negotiable sovereignty of the Republic of Biafra, that your will may be fulfilled in our time. All this we pray, all this we ask for, in no other name apart from that name that belongs to you. Ahadin sosine bigebi rone bigebi. He said, my name is Namdekano. I am the leader of indigenous people of Biafra all over this very planet, I tell you. I lead indigenous people of Biafra IPOB. So also do I command the armies of Biafra. They are fiercely loyal. They are loyal, I tell you, and doing the work that I expect them to do. I also direct Radio Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke, not through any power which I possess or any extraordinary knowledge, but by your grace, O Lord. By your grace, Chukwu Okike Abiama. Onye m na-akpọ isi ala n'efe. We honor you and we are.
If you're just joining me, please just on the comments hit Ise for a prayer of Mazen and the Kanu, the Onyendu, the President of United States of Biafra. And also I hope that my voice is coming out loud and clear. Can you confirm if you can hear me loud and clear, please? Can someone confirm if you can hear me loud and clear? I want to be confirmed before we move. Can you hear my voice? Am I coming out loud and clear? Am I coming out loud and clear? Sister she went up, can you please confirm if you are hearing loud and clear? Yes, thank you so much, Sunday. You are welcome to the platform. Thank you so much. Yeah, Ben Ken, thank you so much. You can see. I hope I'm coming out loud and clear. I'm coming out loud and clear. Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. We want to start by saying that we all are welcoming and a happy Sunday to you all this wonderful evening. So you are welcome to the platform. Please permit me 1 minute to mute the mic and answer a Sorry, my people. I thank you for listening. I see my father here. Divinity. I have fathers, but there is a father among all. I see you. Everybody, welcome to the program and happy Sunday once again. Today we are starting in this way. If you look at my hand, I hope you can see these names that is here. I hope you can see the names that are here very well. What is this? This is a country in the world that a woman has made their declaration. I just decided to take 10 only out of. Do you know that in this world we are living, that the declaration of many countries, the movement of many countries in this world was done by a woman. Many countries in this world, was being declared, and the agitation was also being handled by a woman. And none of them was arrested. Let me just say this to you. If we have 100 countries in the world, 60 to 70 was declared by a woman. And they are all countries till today and become a better countries. And in the history of a country, on agitation to protest to declaration, these women that handled this position, none of them was arrested or put in prison. The world and what never arrested them. Many of these countries in the world was being declared by a woman. I decided to give you 10 today. And from today, I will bring you more of it. I mean, the one that a woman stand on the pulpit declares it, was like what our DPM, Dr. Ngozi Rabeze, did for us November the 29th, 2024. Do you know that? Also, do you know that if you go to Google today, type, in this 21st century, which countries was a woman make their declaration? You will see United States of Biafra declaration by Dr. Ngozi Orabueze. I mean, go to Google as I'm talking right now. What you will type is this. In this 21st century, which countries that was declared by a woman? You will not see Ngozi Orabueze. You will not see Lematu. You will not see Agent of One Nigeria. You will not see Onibusa Soma Ajani. You will not see it. What you will see there, Dr. Ngozi Orabueze declared United States of Biafra November 29, 2024. Can you go and check and come, please? Can you go and check? The world has carried this map. That is why you can see at my back, you will see the map of Biafra. If you go to that map, on top of it, on the arrow, what you will see there is United States of Biafra. United States of Biafra. Now, going down to the map of the world, we are already there. Now, coming to the countries, over 100 countries that was being declared by a woman up to this date. Dr. Ngozi Orabueze has entered there. Your envy, your jealous snakes cannot stop it. And the USB we are declared has been on the map. Are you going to tell them that her name is Ngozi Alalematu? She was born in Kaduna State. She was born in Jigawa. She was born in Sokoto. The world are not listening to that. The history, she has made the history. And she has repeated the history of her fellow women that declares it, that make the declaration. I mean, that thing you saw on November the 29th, 2024. Her name has entered among those that declares it. Now, in all these countries, I want to give you only 10 first today. Being September the 29th, sorry, being March 29, 2026. I want you to know it openly. Likewise, that's why I'm showing you this. You can see it. That is why I am showing you this. I hope you can see. Now, I will call them for you. Brazil was declared by a woman in 1822, September 2nd. Israel was being declared in 1946, May 14, by a woman. Belarus was being declared in 1990, July 27. Congo was being declared, DR Congo was being declared 1960, June 30, by a woman. The Canada you know today was being declared by a woman in 1929, October 18. Canada was also being declared 1962, October 18. In Africa, Madagascar was being declared in 1960, June 26. A woman. Tanzania was being declared by a woman in 1961, December 9, by a woman. Malawi was being declared by a woman in 1964, July 6, by a woman. Ivory Coast was being declared by a woman in 1960, August 7, by a woman. Algeria, 1962, July 5th, by a woman. These are facts, and I want to give it out to you. So I want those that are doubting Dr. Ngozi Arabese to know that woman has declared many countries in the past. And it is today. They are all countries in the history of the world. So declaring it is not different from what others has been doing in the past. Calling her Ngozi Arabo Fulani, Ngozi Arabo Gboro, Majani is for your own reasoning, your own local understanding. Your black brain is disturbing you. That is why you fail to adhere into the important things. These are the countries that woman declares in this world. Are they Brazil? It's not a country today. Do they change the history? Israel, 1948, May 2nd, May 14, has it been changed? That they are no longer a woman that declares it. Congo, DR Congo, 1960, was a woman. Canada was by a woman. Madagascar, a woman. Tanzania, Malawi, Ivory Coast, and Algeria. Even Namibia. These are the countries that women lead and they make the declaration of it. I don't want to put it in here. I just want to put it here so you can see it. I hope you can see. These are countries that women make their declaration. Not by Ngozi Arabo Fulani, Ngozi Arabo Gboro, Arema Hutu. All these things are being concocted by you. And the world will be looking at, laughing at you. The African countries that knows that a woman like us has declared a nation will be laughing at you on your YouTube page, where you are making those noises that no matter in this 21st century. Do you understand it clearly? These are the countries that woman declares in this world that we are into. Is the one I am giving it to you today. If a woman can declare Brazil, it becomes a country. What was the offense of Ngozi Arabese? In your own way of life, the only thing you can do is to continue shouting and ranting while she is making the history. The same way today that the world has picked her up and put her history among the women that declares a new nation, it's also the same way that the world today are going to put her history and give her recognition. And Biafra finally gets our recognition, and you will be there ranting and shouting, and then her dino will come to you. That is why I am telling you that Biafra we are into, after our peaceful declaration, has moved out to what you think and how you feel and what you know. That is why I'm telling you that the only game that we are going to dance this time around is the game of the international global community. Not my game, not your game, not my brain, not your brain, not your how you feel, not how I feel, not what I know, not what you know. These are the countries that woman has made their declaration. Do you think that the world will drop her because of you are shouting, Ngozi Arabo Gboro Fulani, Ngozi Arabo terrorist, Ngozi Arabo this, Ngozi Arabo that? It doesn't. The world are not reasoning like you. And when it's come to the after this peaceful declaration that we are no longer into agitation, that we have transitioned into a country, then you will know that you are making mockery of yourself. You are the one making mockery of yourself in social media. When I said it's not about what you think, it's not about how you feel, it's not about how you reason and how you see things, but it is about how the international global community sees things. And if we are, she's on the side that maintain the law of the international global community. You are not going to put the law there. And neither she is it the one, but the law has been there before us. So she is only maintaining the existing history. And she only maintaining the existing laws of the world. These are things that I want you to know as we are going to go into transition. That is why you see on the headline, the names that are there. The names you see on the headline mean something today, because maybe we want to start educating some people from the grassroots, or we all to know what it means to transition into a country that is no longer how I feel, it's no longer what I know, but it is how the Lord sees what we are doing. So please, also, I urge you, as you're just joining us, please hit the like button, like and share the program. It's very, very important if you do so. What we are doing today is what? IPOB, BGC, Massob, Fallback, Brgie, and any other organization or group. What is transition? Then the question is, IPOB organization and all these groups today have Fallback and BGC. When are you going to transition into a country on the level of the criteria of the world and what they have planning for us and how they want us to move? That is the area I am asking this question. Do you know that a time will come when you are going to transition into a country? And how can you transition from protests? And they said that a protest are always tagged rebel. You know what Nigeria is charging IPOB? The name they give to IPOB organization. These are the areas that I want you at this stage to start coming. Let us reason together. I am not here to insult you, IPOB, because you don't know it. What it means have a new country. I am not here to insult you, Massob, because you don't know what is called transition into a new country and the rules and the guideline. Fallback, Brgie, I have to insult you. BGC, I have to insult you. Minus these two, any other group, I am loyal and I'm very simple. Let us handle this program. We will start from school. How can a child transition? Then when we finish that one, then we will come down to realize, through how a protest had been seen in the eyes of the world and what they call people that are sitting and protest for a long time. When a protest of a rebel group, what can transition you to remove you from the rebel group or rebel name? You don't even know it. In a protest, the word says that you are disturbing the atmosphere, that you're making noise. But in a peaceful declaration, which is the main transition, the first step, you have to transition in a country, you have to have a new country. Number one, transition is start protest as a group. Number two is declaration. Number four is recognition. These are three transitions for you to become a country. Why starting from time of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu till this date, people are still on one particular spot. Okay, let's say from 1999 of Owazurike, because those under Massob are still under IPOB. Some of us from Massob, okay, someone like me, from Massob to IPOB, from IPOB to autopilot, from autopilot to Brgie, from Brgie to USB we are declared. Now, the question is, among these 5 things, which one is the highest one? The highest is what? The declaration. That is Isiaka. These are the primaries of the movement of having a new country. And this is how the world counts the movement. Whenever agitation passes 5 years, they tag the agitation, they tag that group rebel, insurgency, terror, and all these names that are being charged IPOB today. So, And the question is, IPOB, from, please, my brothers and sisters, Biafrans, let us calculate. From 1999 to 2026, please, how many years? From 1999 to 2026, please, how many years? The question will be two. Now, I want to see in the comment section, from 1999 to 2026, how many years? Then from 2012 to 2026, how many years? Please, I want us to communicate together. As I am waiting for us to communicate together, I am going to check those in the comment section and see every comment that we have here. So we need to greet everybody before we move. So please keep the comments coming. Chinwe Opana, thank you so much. Sunday, thank you so much. Ben K, thank you so much. You're welcome. Mommy Margaret, I greet you. Divinity, I greet you. Fresh Kid, I greet you. Gift, I greet you. Uchenna, my brother, I greet you. Frank, I greet you. You're welcome to the program. Angus, I greet you also. Peter, I greet you. Olushimwa God, I greet you. And yes, thank you so much. From 1999 to 2026, it's 27 years. Over 2 decades. So far, so good. IPOB and Massob have agitated for 27 good years, including me, because I was once a member and an oath member, for that matter. So they have done what? Okay, hello, thank you so much for coming. Good evening from here. And happy Sunday to everyone on this platform and those that will join us later. It is total of 27 good years. That is the answer. Now, going to 27 good years. Now check from 2012 to 2026. Please, how many years? 2012 to 2026. Please, how many years? This is a total roll call of protest, agitation, Massob, and IPOB. Because for them, they are still agitating till today. They are still protesting till today. And I never see in the history any country or any group that have used agitation like what IPOB is known for to achieve a new country. And also, I never see in this world, because of the level of agitation, then the world will just come together and said, okay, you have agitated for 14 years. For that reason, please take your country. Which country are you agitating for? The world or the UN or the international community cannot come and call you and say, okay, come. I heard your leader is sent to life imprisonment. And I can see that you are protesting since over all these years. Because of this, your protest and your agitation, that is non-violent. That because of that, please, what is the name of the country you are protesting for, you want to have? Then you will now open your mouth and say, okay, the country I am protesting to have is Biafra. So then maybe Donald Trump or Netanyahu will stand up and say, okay, oh yeah, please take it. Okay, Biafra, oh yeah, take your Biafra and go. From today, you are a country. Are you thinking at all? And where has it happened before? That your method that we are adopting, where has that kind of method happened before? Yes, IPOB has. I minused the one of Massob. The only IPOB agitation from 2012 to 2026 has agitation for 14 good years. A child that you send to secondary school, has it never come out from secondary school? A child that started from primary school to nursery, from nursery to primary, that child, is he still remaining in the primary up to now? Please, can someone tell me? A child that you send to school from 2012 to this 2026, that child still remain in primary school. If that child still remain in primary school, that is IPOB, and that child, is he doing well? The answer is no, that child who remained in primary school for 12 years is not doing well. Now, check under autopilot to USB they declared. How many years? 5 years. A child with a smart, intelligent brain pass out of primary school in 5 years. Pass out of secondary school in 5 years. This time around. Is it not true? And the IPOB remain where they are from that time. From time immemorial till today. I want to now, why am I asking this question? Because we are going to go down to our headline. Remember the headline. IPOB, BGC, Massob, Fallback fake Brgie, and any other group, any other organization or group. What is meaning of transition? Now, we are going to find out. Like I said, we are going to start from school level, get down to the struggle that we are into. So this program might be long. I urge you to bear with me. Please endeavor to bear with me. Continue commenting, liking. We want to make it clear today and send message to go viral. That is why it's very important that if you can like, share, subscribe, also turn notification on, and do what? Comment. It's very important because we want this message to go viral. And I want you to go to Facebook. Just type Nonso Biafra TV. Nonso Biafra TV. I need 100 followers for me also to be streaming my program to go live on Facebook. I want to go and take the challenge. I want to go and say this message out, not only on the YouTube. Because sometimes the numbers are in YouTube are so much. Honestly. I need only 100 followers from the United States of Biafra citizens for us to go to YouTube and do comments and also share our program there so they will understand that we have come. So please, that is my simple apology or begging for you to follow me on YouTube so I can be able to reach 100, so I can be able to stream program live. And on that YouTube, on that Facebook, that is after this program, that is where I normally cut the program 10 minutes, send it to Facebook. Please, I urge you to do that. Remember to like and share. Like I told you, we are going to start from the beginning on this platform today about transition. So you may ask them some questions. Those who are on the yes, thank you, Shana. Yes, I see you. I see you get a notification when you joined. Thank you so much. Love Day, thank you. I can see you. Hello, thank you so much. Good evening and happy Sunday from my location to you. So the terms transition is what we are going to start with today. So listen, the program begins from now. Let's work.
The term transition generally refers to the process or period of changing from one state, condition, or place to another. Because it is a broad concept, its specific meaning depends on the context in which it's used. Here is a breakdown of how transition is defined across different fields. 1. General and personal change. In everyday life, a transition is a passage from one stage of life to another. Examples: moving from being a student to a full-time professional, relocating to a new country, or retiring from a long career. Characteristics: these periods often involve a sense of in-betweenness, where the old way of living has ended but the new one isn't yet fully established. 2. Science and nature. In technical fields, transition describes a shift in physical properties or biological stages. Physics, chemistry. A phase transition occurs when a substance changes states, such as water freezing into ice or boiling into steam. Genetics. A point mutation where one purine base is replaced by another purine, or a pyrimidine by another pyrimidine. 3. Writing and rhetoric. In communication, transitions are words, phrases, or sentences that connect ideas. Purpose. They prevent choppy writing and help the reader follow the logic of an argument. Examples: words like however, consequently, furthermore, or meanwhile act as bridges between thoughts. 4. Music and media. Music, a passage that connects two main sections of a composition, often shifting the key or tempo to prepare the listener for a new theme. Video editing, the technique used to move from one shot to another, such as a fade, dissolve, or cut. 5. Government and policy. In a political context, a power transition occurs when a new administration takes over from an outgoing one. Focus. This often involves the transfer of records, personnel, and departmental authority to ensure stability and continuity of governance. Summary table. Common transitions. Context. From. To. Education. High school. University. Thermodynamics. Liquid. Gas. Career. Employee. Entrepreneur. Music. Verse. Chorus. Is there a specific area, such as business, law, or personal growth, where you are looking to apply this concept?
Now they ask, where do you want to put this concept? Yeah, now, which I was saying, my WhatsApp number is +9733360513337. That is my WhatsApp number. That is the WhatsApp number I use on the group WhatsApp, where I post all these documents and all this research that I am doing. So those who follow there read all these things. After program, I will still forward it there. I will still forward it on my S handle. So in case, so the message should not be missed at all. So that is my number. I repeat it again. +97 +97 3360513337. That is the number. So we move. I will play it again because this particular area explains himself. Then we are going to touch it gradually. Now, where they ask on the concept where you want to use this transition to, now it will now boil down to the Biafran movement where we are and what we are doing at this stage. So I play again. Listen to this again.
The term transition generally refers to the process or period of changing from one state, condition, or place to another. Because it is a broad concept, its specific meaning depends on the context in which it's used. Here is a breakdown of how transition is defined across different fields. 1. General and personal change. In everyday life, a transition is a passage from one stage of life to another. Examples: moving from being a student to a full-time professional, relocating to a new country, or retiring from a long career. Characteristics: these periods often involve a sense of in-betweenness, where the old way of living has ended but the new one isn't yet fully established. 2. Science and nature. In technical fields, transition describes a shift in physical properties or biological stages. Physics, chemistry. A phase transition occurs when a substance changes states, such as water freezing into ice or boiling into steam. Genetics, a point mutation where one purine base is replaced by another purine, or a pyrimidine by another pyrimidine. 3. Writing and rhetoric. In communication, transitions are words, phrases, or sentences that connect ideas. Purpose. They prevent choppy writing and help the reader follow the logic of an argument. Examples. Words like however, consequently, furthermore, or meanwhile act as bridges between thoughts. 4. Music and media. Music, a passage that connects two main sections of a composition, often shifting the key or tempo to prepare the listener for a new theme. Video editing, the technique used to move from one shot to another, such as a fade, dissolve, or cut. 5. Government and policy. In a political context, a power transition occurs when a new administration takes over from an outgoing one. Focus. This often involves the transfer of records, personnel, and departmental authority to ensure stability and continuity of governance. Summary table. Common transitions. Context. From. To. Education. High school. University. Thermodynamics. Liquid. Gas. Career. Employee. Entrepreneur. Music. Verse. Chorus. Is there a specific area, such as business, law, or personal growth, where you are looking to apply this concept?
I hope you are with me and we are going together. Yes, my brother, the number is again +9 7 3 60 51 337. That is the number, please. So now we move. I want you to see a clearly of transition, and I want us to see, take it by the summary table of common transition. They are what they call education. You enter school, high school, transition into university. I hope you are hearing it loud and clear. That is transition. Now, there is liquid and gas. There is employer and employee and entrepreneur. There is music and all that along the line. Now, in this movement of IPOB, somebody who school took in from, because of school, you went to secondary school. And for 14 good years, you are still in secondary school till today. If you are a parent of this child that still remain in secondary school for 14 years, I hope that you are going to be willingly, freely to contribute money and give to this paying school fees, sewing school uniform, buying sandals or canvas, and everything that this child needed for this school. I hope you can be patiently sponsor a child for university, for secondary school, for 14 good years, for 1 decade, and I hope you can do it willingly without complaining. That simply means that you remain one place. Also, that there is no movement. There is no what? Any single movement from you, from that child. That every year, that child remain where he is. I hope you understand it clearly. That this child will remain where? In school for confirmed 14 years. And you as a father, because as of today, IPOB and Massob, moreover, leave Massob, IPOB and their granddaughter and their grandsons has continuously doing protests. Some of them has never even got married when they start protests. Today, they have married, have son and daughter, and they are still on the protest. Some of them and their father started the agitation. Like I myself and my father started the agitation from Massob to IPOB. Today, look at me here with my own family, with my own siblings. And we are still on the protest. For some of us that has married and give birth, a child that was being born for over 40 years ago, that child has finished primary school. That child is in secondary school now. Then, when it's narrow it down to the agitation group of IPOB, there is no movement. There is no transition. That's what they told. The transition is about from high school to university. The transition is also from nursery to primary transition. From primary to secondary transition. From high school, secondary, which they call high school, to university, which is what? Transition. Employer and the employee and the entrepreneur. You see how the transition works? It's only in the Biafra movement there is no transition. The only thing that we have to be doing is to be singing. Biafra wanting to Biafra wanting to. Who is giving it to you? Na biko Biafra wanting to. That is it. We stand Anyagwo. Don't call me rebel. Nigeria soldier, don't call me rebel. I'm a citizen and you're a foreigner. Anyekwe. That is what we have been doing for 14 years. Then we hire mic, speakers. We sing, we gyrate, we dance. And you're telling the world that you are angry. You continue. You can't be agitating when you are not happy and be dancing music. Either you are fighting or you are taking necessary actions. What is the action of IPOB? Biko Biafra wanting to. 14 years from Massob, 27 years has left. 2 decades has gone. And we are still on the protest, carrying placards on the street and doing gyration. And we call it what? We call it that we want a country called Biafra. And what we are expecting is, you are expecting ICJ, you are expecting the world powers, you are expecting Donald Trump, you are expecting Netanyahu, you are expecting Putin, you are expecting all these powerful leaders in the world to call you and say, oh, the black African people that are on the protest, on the street for 27 good years, because of these 27 days of protest, we want you to take Biafra. What country do you say you want? Please, we are listening. What country are you agitating for? Oh, we are agitating for the lost country that was lost in 1967 to 1970 by Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. Now, I want to ask you, what is your government structure? Okay, we are calling you. Okay, we are calling you. Please come. We want to conduct self-referendum for you. Okay, we are giving you this date. That is a date that we are going to conduct this self-referendum. My people, what is in your mind? Let me give you another example out of the program, out of the research, out of the meaning of the transition. Now, you are a young man. You see a girl that is your crush, you admire on the road, and you want to marry the girl. And what you will do is this: every day you see this girl, you buy her gift. You buy the family gift. Sometimes you pay the girl school fees and buy the family a bag of rice. And you passed. And they will say, you thank you. You said, okay. And you go back to your house. Then another day or another month, the girl is going to school. You were giving her money to get some things in school, her textbook. Also, okay, or you are trying to pay in fact, you are paying the school fees, paying for a house she's living in the school, and after that, you go back house. Then, when this girl graduated from school, you now said, okay, oh no, even after graduation, you never say anything. No. What you do was, you tell her to, the girl will just on her mind and said, okay, this guy want to marry me. Oh. Let me go and tell my parents that this guy want to marry me. So I should pack my load and go to his house. Or you are waiting for the family to call you and ask you, okay, you have paid school fees for my daughter. Thank you. You have sponsored her. Okay, for that reason, we know what is in your mind. Okay, we put January 50 for marriage, for traditional marriage for you. We put January 20 for traditional marriage, January 20. Then for white marriage, we put it on the 5th. That's white marriage is supposed to be first. Then we are going to give you list things you will buy. Then you will, after buying it, then we also tell you call your people to come. Then we will take our daughter because you have paid for her diary. On that, you have paid school fees. So please take the child. Take our daughter and go. That is what IPOB doing, and they tell me what has happened in this world. Without you making your intention being known, without you proving that you want to marry a girl. First, as a guy man you are, who understand what you want, you toast a girl on the road. You stop her and how are you? What is your name? You praise her, shower her blessings. That admire her so much. You are the one to start asking her out and what you want her and how you want it. Until the girl finally agreed. No, on this our case of Biafra movement, no country in this world has transitioned, or not every country was a country from day one. They did not pass protest level, agitation, to transition into a country. No, they remain. And because of when Namibia was fighting against South Africa, when Algeria was fighting, when Eritrea was fighting, when Belarus was fighting from Russia, no, they just remain on the streets and continue clapping, dancing every time. Or sometimes in a month, they come 2 times, 3 times, they start their protest, they continue what they are doing. And because of that, the world will now come and say, oh, Namibia, you have agitated too much. You have protested for so long, for over 27 years that you are agitating. Please, on this reason that you have agitated for these 27 years, okay, don't worry yourself. We will call South Africa. South Africa, please pack your load and leave Namibia territory. Namibia, go back, take your country. From today, we have recognized you. Your name is Namibia. That is how it works. That is what you think. And that is all you can do. Come back to the research. The term transition generally refer to process or a period of a change from one state to another condition. From one state to another what? Condition. What is the condition of IPOB since I was born? Since I was know what is called this movement from Massob, what I see is protest. No structure of a government. Even I'm going far. Then the question is, IPOB, when are you going to transition, change from agitation to a state? Or a place to another? Because it is a broad context. It's a specifically meaning depends on the context in which used. Now, in what context am I using this narration of transition? I am using it on the research under the making a declaration from protest to declaration. Is it transition? From protest to transition. From protest to declaration. Can it call transition? I want you to type it on the Google and find out. Type right now. IPOB, please type. IPOB organization with protest. Is it transition? That means when you type this, what you will see that Uchenna, I am not funny, but I am giving instruction, honestly. Because I want us to understand it in a common terms. I want us to understand it in a simple way. And what I want to do today, for those who are here for the first time, after this, I will put the link. You also come and explain what you understand from transition. I think that should be better. On any session, we open our link or phone call. Then you tell us what you really understand that is transition. Then narrow it down to what we are doing. So, when you look at the IPOB organization, when are they going to step out from one place for 27 good years? You are doing one thing day in, day out, year in, year out. And what fruit do you think that what we are doing is going to bring? I hope you are paying attention. What is the step? What is the changes that this thing, and you are expecting changes? You are expecting the world to give you Biafra. What are the changes that is going to make the world to give you this Biafra in question? What are those criteria that will make the world to give you Biafra as a country? What are the changes? Peace, you are welcome. Good evening from here. Happy Sunday. What are the things that is going to give you Biafra as a country? Can only protest make the world? Can only protest make you automatically Biafra Republic? Let me just use that word for you. So far you distance yourself on the United States of Biafra we are declared, that has already been on the map of the world, in Africa also. And also, where it has been written that Dr. Ngozi Rabeze is the one who declared Biafra, who declared United States of Biafra, November 2024. The same way the world occurs on the day of the first day of agitation of IPOB and Massob, and those who started it, name of Mazen and Kano. Today, the history of the world has made it clearly that the people that declares, or the person in question that declares Biafra as a country is Dr. Ngozi Rabeze. And there's nothing you can do about it. You can only rant and shout. On this issue of transition, that is where I want you to swallow your ego, calm down, relax. Let us face the reality. If you know that what you want is Biafra as a country. That is why I charge you, I challenge you again. Just go on the map in the Africa, type, does United States of Biafra has map? Just type it. Just go to the Google, type, did United States of Biafra has included in the map of Africa. Just go there and find out by yourself. The same way I give you this, I show you that this is what? This is first 10 country that women make their declaration. This is 10. Out of these 10, I do it Massob. I have Brazil, 1822, September 2nd, Brazil. I have Israel, 1948, May 14. Israel, 1948, May 14. I have it here. I have Belarus, 1990, July 27, by woman. I have Congo, DR Congo in Africa, 1960, June 30. I have Canada, 1929, October 18. I have Madagascar in Africa, 1960, June 26, woman. I have Tanzania in Africa, 1961, December 9. I have Malawi, 1964, July 6. I have Ivory Coast, 1960, August 7. I have Algeria, 1962, July 5. I just want to give you 10. Mixed up with Europe, Asia, and Africa. Do you also know that in many countries in Africa was being declared by a woman? And when this woman lead this woman, none of them was arrested, put in prison. It's hardly for the world to arrest a woman, put a woman in prison, in the name of fighting for a motherland, a new country. So what happened? Our DPM, who you don't like, go and under research and check. In the 21st century, no, not even use 21st century, ask that I want to know in the Google right now, type UIPOB, Massob, type. I want to know all the countries that women make their declaration, type. What you will see there is Dr. Ngozi Orakwe declared United States of Biafra, November 2024. What else do you want? Again, she, Obatobia, Simon, Prime Minister, overtake man, using Ngozi Orakwe to overtake all of you and put all of you in the sewage. The name IPOB is a country. No, Mommy Stella, there is why we have to do this. Because we are sending message to their followers. I told you that our platform, I have added 10 people on our group that are from IPOB. Listen to our program. So we need to go down to the structure, to the grassroots sometimes to bring it out for them. I also want you to know whether you agreed or did not, the world has put it in the map, in the history. Now, when the world put this in the history, if the world are looking for recognition, who are they going to give? It's still her as the leader, because the world address her as a leader of a state, a leader of a country called United States of Biafra, despite lacking international recognition. This international recognition is only what we are lacking right now. And the structure of your government has been putting up. The world knows it. As I am talking to you right now, transition. Simon Heba, is it that a berima? You are normally called. Understand what it means to have a new country. He understands what is called transition. That's what she did. That's what he did. When you continuously calling her names and he was arrested, he handed over to a very smart and speak out lady among all in the Biafra government in exile. The authentic, original, documented Brgie by Simon Ebanjoko, which the agent was Ogen Kere, that make a peaceful declaration of the United States of Biafra. The world has carried it on, and the world has moved with her. And you are there. Oh, go and check if the world knows her as Alimatu now. A whole old fool, like I don't know, a woman, they said, now open when you are going down in the age, there is some sin that you committed that God will not forgive you. I don't know who will go to Fulani. God can never forgive her. She's going to hellfire because of her lies and deceit. All of you are angry. Why Obatobi choose her as the surrogate? And why she was the COS? That is why you are angry. You are not angry for your bitterness over Tobi, the aggression you have over Tobi. You will transfer it to Rebeze. The woman did not do you anything. She's only trying to give you Biafra as a country. And that is why she becomes goes Lalematu. Shame on you. I don't know. Because I thought that that name you called her could have changed her name from the world history. Her name has entered the Guinness Record Book of women that declares a new country. We move. Here is a breakdown of how transition is identified across different fields. Across different what? Field. 1. General, personal change. In everyday life, a transition is a passage from one stage of life to another stage. Simon Ebanjako did what? Changes us from agitation and rebel group by Biafra government in exile that transitioned into the declaration that transitioned into a country. These are 3 transitions. 1 is transition you from, it started from a protest. The word tag you a rebel. You now transition from the rebel group to what? To government in exile, well structured. Now the government in exile make declaration. The declaration transition them or move them or push them into a country in waiting with a government structure. This is how it happens in our present movement. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to play this transition again and move into how other countries, both in Africa, both Kosovo, both Burkina, both Algeria, both Namibia, how they transition from the rubbish of IPOB. Let's listen again.
The term transition generally refers to the process or period of changing from one state, condition, or place to another. Because it is a broad concept, its specific meaning depends on the context in which it's used. Here is a breakdown of how transition is defined across different fields. 1. General and personal change. In everyday life, a transition is a passage from one stage of life to another. Examples: moving from being a student to a full-time professional, relocating to a new country, or retiring from a long career. Characteristics: these periods often involve a sense of in-betweenness, where the old way of living has ended but the new one isn't yet fully established. 2. Science and nature. In technical fields, transition describes a shift in physical properties or biological stages. Physics, chemistry. A phase transition occurs when a substance changes states, such as water freezing into ice or boiling into steam. Genetics. A point mutation where one purine base is replaced by another purine, or a pyrimidine by another pyrimidine. 3. Writing and rhetoric. In communication, transitions are words, phrases, or sentences that connect ideas. Purpose. They prevent choppy writing and help the reader follow the logic of an argument. Examples: words like however, consequently, furthermore, or meanwhile act as bridges between thoughts. 4. Music and media. Music, a passage that connects 2 main sections of a composition, often shifting the key or tempo to prepare the listener for a new theme. Video editing, the technique used to move from one shot to another, such as a fade, dissolve, or cut. 5. Government and policy. In a political context, a power transition occurs when a new administration takes over from an outgoing one. Focus. This often involves the transfer of records, personnel, and departmental authority to ensure stability and continuity of governance. Summary table, common transitions. Context, from, to, education, high school, university, thermodynamics, liquid, gas, career, employee, entrepreneur, music, verse, chorus. Is there a specific area, such as business, law, or personal growth, where you are looking to apply this concept?
It's very simple. That's why I don't want to go more details on this, because it's explained himself. That is why we're asking question. IPOB, when are you going to move out from this situation? When are you going to stop from doing one thing for 27 good years? And it's not bringing any result. The only result it brings to you that you make money from it. That is the only transition you have, is to make money. We want to tell you that the Biafra movement has transitioned into a country, no longer an agitation group. And the world has recognized this declaration. That is why it's in the map. That is why it's in the history of the world. Let us find out the transition in this 21st century, protest to peaceful declaration of independence, how the world see all these things. What we did on November, what was done by November the 29th, 2024 by Dr. Ngozi Arabeza and all the cabinet members who believe in that royal declaration. It doesn't matter who declares it. That is why I give you countries here that the woman has made the declaration. Let us see.
In the 21st century, a transition from a protest movement to a peaceful declaration of independence is a sophisticated administrative and legal process. It is no longer just about the act of declaring. It is about the institutionalization of a movement into a functioning state apparatus. This specific type of transition involves three critical pillars. 1. The legal transition, the Kosovo model. Modern transitions often rely on the precedent set by the ICJ Advisory Opinion on Kosovo, 2010. This established that a declaration of independence does not, by itself, violate international law. The shift, the organization moves from rebellion to legal assertion. The strategy, utilizing international law, such as the Montevideo Convention or Additional Protocol I of the Geneva Conventions, to argue that the movement meets the objective criteria of statehood, a permanent population, a defined territory, and a government. 2. The administrative transition, building the shadow state. A peaceful declaration is only effective if the organization can immediately provide the services of a state. This is often called building the state from within. Identity and sovereignty, moving from protesting government IDs to issuing your own national ID cards, passports, and birth certificates. In the 21st century, this includes digital sovereignty, biometric databases and secure registries. Diplomatic channels, establishing representative offices abroad that function like quasi-embassies. This transitions the movement from social media advocacy to formal engagement with bodies like the United Nations, UN, the European Union, EU, or the African Union, EU. Financial infrastructure, developing the capacity for banking and trade. A new country must prove it can manage a treasury and potentially a currency or digital asset to sustain its population. 3. The institutional transition, the Lati style, when a declaration happens peacefully, such as an event held in a neutral location or a formal ceremony. It marks the end of the protest phase and the beginning of the government phase. Internal discipline. The leadership must transition from protest leaders to ministers or head of state. Documentary evidence. The declaration is backed by a body of evidence, treaties, historical maps, and legal briefs, submitted to international courts and foreign governments to seek recognition. Comparison. 20th versus 21st century transitions. Feature 20th century transition, 21st century transition. Primary tool. Arms struggle, decolonization. International law, diplomacy. Identity. Physical passports only. Biometric IDs. digital sovereignty, media, radio, underground press, global social media, real-time advocacy, recognition, bloc politics, Cold War, legal precedents, ICJ, UN, summary of the peaceful path. A 21st century transition is successful when the protest organization effectively replaces the functions of the old state with its own superior, peaceful, and legal administrative structures. The declaration is the moment the world is told that the work of building the state is already well underway. Would you like to look closer at the specific legal documents or the technical requirements for issuing internationally recognized ID cards during such a transition?
I hope you are following. If you are still here, please, I want you to hit the like button for people to join us more, because now the program has just started. You have used all this one to make our preamble so people may understand what we are about to do today in a very large number, because our people we be just doing things how we feel and what you want. But I am here to let you know it's no longer how you feel and what you want. It is also how the global stage that are watching what we are doing, how they are seeing it. You see all these groups. You see, that is why you see here IPOB, BGC, Massob, Fake Fallback, Brgie. They are all in one place. They are one people. They are what? They are one people doing the same thing. Nothing different from what they are doing. What IPOB, what Massob is doing till today is see what IPOB is doing. What IPOB is doing is what Fake Fallback Brgie is doing. What Fake Fallback Brgie is doing is what BGC and those who claim autopilot and all these names you are seeing, all the groups you are seeing today, they are one place. How? With this, can't you see who want to give you Biafra as a country? With what you are hearing from here, now, can't you see who want to give you Biafra as your own country in this 21st century? The transition is the main legal process. When a declaration happens, when a declaration happens peacefully, such as an event held in the natural locations or a formal ceremony, it makes the ends of the protest and the beginning of the government purchased. Our peaceful protest in Helsinki, Latvia, Finland, is the only transition into a country, no longer using it to tag us rebel group. Because in agitation group, the world sees you as a rebel. They see you as a terror. They see you as anything badass, but they will not come to tell you. And have you asked yourself, for over 27 years of Massob to IPOB till 2026, how you never ask yourself, why the UN never called Nigeria? Why the UN never called any of you and said, like I said before, you have protested for 27 good years, 2 decades, and on that reason, we don't want to protest again. We only want to give you, what do you say that you want? I want Republic of Biafra. They will now say, okay, take it. How could you be doing one thing for over 27 years and you want a different result? You, on the level of protest and all these groups that are coming back today, I want to tell you that if you are supporting them, you are just a beginner. If you are supporting all these groups, if you as a person is supporting all these groups, I want to tell you that you are continuously being a beginner. And why someone like me don't want to be a beginner? That is why I see the end of the protest. That's why I see someone who determined to give me Biafra as a country. And what happened? I joined the moving trend. I joined the transition. I proving to the world that I am no longer in high school, that I have entered university and I have graduated. That we have entered university and we have done what? Graduated. What is our graduation? Our graduation is a peaceful declaration. What is our work? Our work is seeking recognition. What is our diplomacy? Recognition is our diplomacy. So in our criteria, we see continuous transition until the final day. Children, you are welcome. Emmanuel and Chris Son Biafra, I see you. Thanks so much for coming. You are welcome also. The world is moving forward. The world is advising you to transition. The world is advising you to move forward, to stop this your protest and this your agitation that is no longer yielding any fruit. That is not what they want. That is not how to get a new country. And you remain there. And you remain there. Up to today, you are still doubting the world. That the world has accepted United States of Biafra map into the map of the world. You go and check and verify. Just go to Google, type, where can I find Biafran map? Just type it. What you will see an arrow, Biafran map. There, with on top of it, what you will see on top is what? United States of Biafra. As I'm talking, please, I want someone to go and confirm it for me. Go to Google, type, where can I find Biafra map in Africa? Or can I find Biafra map in African map? Just something like that. Just something very common. You find it out and come and give testimony here. And what you will see there, what you will see is United States of Biafra. Not IPOB Biafra. Not Massob Biafra. Not fake Fallback Brgie Biafra. Not BGC Biafra, not Dr. Agis Biafra, not all these rubbishes and groups you're seeing today, the criminals and the 419ers that claim they are fighting for Biafra for us. What do you really want? The time to make money with Biafra name has ended. That is why all of you are fighting against USB. We are declared. James Njoko, you're welcome. That's all. James Chigozie, you're welcome. Thank you so much. I know that program is going on, that my brother Kai is live. So people are going and coming. It is good to get all the information. So I want you to narrow it down here today. How the peaceful declaration is the transition, the second transition. You have only three. 1, protest. 2, the peaceful declaration. From declaration to recognition. That is the three things, and that is, we are on the second, while you are on the number 1. And because of the USB has been on the map, and the arrow is pointing United States of Biafra as the newness who has emerged in the world right now. Not be me do you, now you do yourself. Oh. Join what the world wants, you says no. That's why I told you that the world will not do because of you. Your name is IPOB organization. And they change their history and change their laws. No matter how it is, the laws is improving. If USB, if United States of Biafra map can be inside the map, I want to know that it's going. That is how it started. And how the world sees things in this time around we are into is different from the way you see it. Shoma, you are welcome. Shomi, I see you are welcome. Please, when you join us, please hit the like button. Please, like and share. Subscribe on the YouTube page if you never. Try and do that. It's only USB all the way. It is only, that is why I told that all our comments that we should be continuously doing I am a citizen of United States of what? Biafra. It's very, very important. Please like the program, also share the program if you may. Listen to this again before we go into our deep analysis. Listen.
In the 21st century, a transition from a protest movement to a peaceful declaration of independence is a sophisticated administrative and legal process. It is no longer just about the act of declaring. It is about the institutionalization of a movement into a functioning state apparatus. This specific type of transition involves three critical pillars. 1. The legal transition, the Kosovo model. Modern transitions often rely on the precedent set by the ICJ Advisory Opinion on Kosovo, 2010. This established that a declaration of independence does not, by itself, violate international law. The shift, the organization moves from rebellion to legal assertion. The strategy, utilizing international law, such as the Montevideo Convention or Additional Protocol I of the Geneva Conventions, to argue that the movement meets the objective criteria of statehood, a permanent population, a defined territory, and a government. 2. The administrative transition, building the shadow state. A peaceful declaration is only effective if the organization can immediately provide the services of a state. This is often called building the state from within. Identity and sovereignty. Moving from protesting government IDs to issuing your own national ID cards, passports, and birth certificates. In the 21st century, this includes digital sovereignty, biometric databases, and secure registries. Diplomatic channels, establishing representative offices abroad that function like quasi-embassies. This transitions the movement from social media advocacy to formal engagement with bodies like the United Nations, UN, the European Union, EU, or the African Union, EU. Financial infrastructure, developing the capacity for banking and trade. A new country must prove it can manage a treasury and potentially a currency or digital asset to sustain its population. 3. The institutional transition, the Lati style, when a declaration happens peacefully, such as an event held in a neutral location or a formal ceremony. It marks the end of the protest phase and the beginning of the government phase. Internal discipline. The leadership must transition from protest leaders to ministers or head of state. Documentary evidence. The declaration is backed by a body of evidence, treaties, historical maps, and legal briefs, submitted to international courts and foreign governments to seek recognition. Comparison. 20th versus 21st century transitions. Feature 20th century transition, 21st century transition. Primary tool, arms struggle, decolonization. International law, diplomacy. Identity, physical passports only. Biometric IDs, digital sovereignty. Media, radio, underground press. Global social media, real-time advocacy. Recognition, bloc politics, Cold War, legal precedents, ICJ, UN, summary of the peaceful path. A 21st century transition is successful when the protest organization effectively replaces the functions of the old state with its own superior, peaceful, and legal administrative structures. The declaration is the moment the world is told that the work of building the state is already well underway. Would you like to look closer at the specific legal documents or the technical requirements for issuing internationally recognized ID cards during such a transition?
I hope you are following and you are listening. That is why you see our headline, IPOB, BGC, Mamadou Abo, Massob, Fallback, fake Brgie, and all of them who think whether organization or a group that are coming up today. If you are coming out, you are just a beginner. And before you will reach where USB is, we have already gone home. So our people, do you want to beginner? Do you want now USB is already made? What you are doing is like when you went for a job for a long hour and you come back from the work and there is already I think we are back because the network is really dealing with me. Can you hear me, please? My network is somehow bad. There's under attack. Please, if you are here, I want you to just hit that love emoji. So YouTube and those YouTube will see that people are listening, so the attack will stop. Please, the love emoji is what I want to hit on it, because once you hit then YouTube will see that people are watching the program, so they won't go further to do anything, and they can also help us to resist the attack. Yes, thank you so much for doing that. But I hope you can hear me right now. Okay, Chukwude said yes. Now, on this movement, like I said, USB we are declared has already become what? Already made. And you that is contributing money to a group, to organization that can be tagged rebel tomorrow or declare terror tomorrow, why can't you ask yourself a question? If your problem is because of it was being declared by a woman, I want you to understand that she is not the first woman that have made that declaration of a new country. And she is not going to be the last woman that have made that a peaceful declaration of a new country. I have told you here, or count to you, how many countries that woman has declared in the past. It's many, but I just decided to choose 10 and mix it up with those in Africa, those in the Europe, those in the Asia. So you can find out by yourself. What matters is that it's not about woman declaring it. What matters is that, is it a country? And are you the one to change the history of the world? Are you a person that will change the law that guides a movement like this? That is my question to you. Let me refresh your mind again. Look at it here. I will mention their names, one of 10. I just selected 10 out of many of them. A woman declares Brazil in 1822, September 2nd, a woman. Israel was declared by Israel 1948, May 14, by a woman. The Israel you are calling Netanyahu to come and help you. Belarus was declared by a woman 1990, July 27, by a woman. Congo, DR Congo in Africa, 1960, June 30, by a woman. Canada, 1929, October 18, a woman. Madagascar, 1960, June 26, a woman. Tanzania, 1961, December 9, a woman. Malawi, 1964, July 6, a woman. Ivory Coast, 1960, August 7. Algeria, 1962, July 5th. These are countries that woman declares in this world. So what our DPM or what Governmental has done is something that people in the past has been doing it. And it was successful. I come across about 50 or 87 countries that woman declares. None of all these women was arrested, put in prison. Women are very powerful when it comes to leading agitation group that transition into a country and also making the creation of a country. It's hardly for them to be arrested or to be indicted. It's only where you are, it's where your envy, your hatred, your jealousness will destroy you, and your selfish interest and selfish brain you have is going to destroy. That is why you are against the peaceful declaration. That is why. Let us see if this is happening before, anywhere in the world before. In this 21st century, the transition from a protest movement to a specific declaration of independence is a significant administrative and the legal process. And the what? And the legal what? Process. Yes. Chigozie, you are welcome. Chinenye Ebonye, you are welcome. Mommy Flora, good evening from here, you are welcome. Bishop, you are welcome. You are welcome. Political, you are welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Please hit the like button as you join me. Share and subscribe on the YouTube page, Re Biafra TV. Then Facebook, Nonso Biafra. Because I want to be sharing this message everywhere. I want to be going live to YouTube, to Facebook also. So let us continue. You can see the transition, 21st century, that it is the transition from protest to a peaceful declaration of independence is administrative and the legal process. You know, our people never understand this declaration, what it stands for. Once you have made a peaceful declaration, you have moved from the rebel protest group to what? To administrative of what? Of authority of a new nation. This specific type of transition involving the criteria, critical pillars. Listen, the legal transition, the Kosovo model is a legal transition. Example, where a peaceful declaration has led into recognition, where a peaceful transition from protest of Kosovo leading into the declaration that leads into declaration. Ndị banyị na n'okwu Igbo na amụta nwa, nwa amụta nwa, nwa amụtakwa nwa. You see how it goes. The same thing we did in the beginning of the program, from primary school to secondary school, from secondary school to university, from university to become employee or to become a whatever you want. That is how it goes. But there must be a transition. It is also being called, when you leave Nigeria to travel to United Kingdom, it is about transition that will benefit you. So it's only in this movement of Biafra. Nobody knows transition. We will remain and singing and dancing and carry placards on the street. And by doing that, the world will now come and say, oh, take your Biafra. Now we have believed in you and you are a country. Is it how the world sees what we are doing? Is it how the world is going to give you Biafra as a country? No is the answer. The world will recognize Biafra as a country through this a peaceful declaration that even Kosovo is an example in this, because of this 21st century. Remember, it's 2010 of Kosovo. Modern transition often really rely on the precedents set by the ICJ adversaries options on Kosovo 2010. You see, Kosovo made their own war 2010. This established that a declaration of independence does not, by itself, volunteer international law. That it doesn't, when you make a peaceful declaration, yes, but it matters so much when you follow on the peaceful, on the criteria of the ICJ, of the international law. There is international law, my people. It's not what we think. It's not about how we feel. It's not about your emotion. It's not about how your brain carries it. It is about how the international global community sees what we are doing and what they feel and how they want us to behave is what matters so much. Transition. That is why USB has transitioned. We have moved away from the agitation group to a state. That is what is called what? Transition. Not shouting on the street and right on the street. The shift. The organization moves from the rebel to a legal sanctions, illegal scenarios. The group of agitation, after the peaceful declaration, has moved from being a rebel group into what? Into a legal state through a peaceful declaration. The strategy: unutilize international law such as the Montevideo Convention, Additional Protocol 1 of the Geneva Convention, to argue that the movement met the objective criteria of a statehood, a permanent population, a defined territory, and a government. Do you see that? When you make a declaration, you have a government, whether it's in exile or anywhere. But this declaration, it is the legal access of a new country to proving a transition from protest to a transition into a country in waiting. That is when they shifted. After that, we have not done anything. Number 2, the administrative transition building the showdown state or a country. A peaceful declaration is only effective if the organization can immediately provide the service of a state. That is why you have USB cabinet members. That is why you have the liaison heads. That is why you have everything that make up a country. USB has put it in the map, in their structure. That is why today we are in the map of the world. Take it or you leave it. I said what? Take it or what? Or you leave it. Because we are building what? A country. The administrative transitional building the showdown street. A peaceful declaration is only effective if the organization can immediately provide the service of the state. That is often called building the state for waiting. Building the state from what? Waiting. You are a country waiting for what? One thing, which is international recognition. Now, what does it mean when they said if after the peaceful declaration that the structure of the government can provide a service? Now listen to the service. Listen. Identified and sovereignty, moving from the protest group ID card to issued your own nation ID card, passport, and the birth certificate. In the 21st century, this is including digital sovereignty, bilateral databases, and securing registers. What is USB doing? What is United States of Biafra doing? Is it not what you are hearing here? Is it not what you are hearing about putting a government structure? Which government today is issuing ID card for you? USB they are declared. Which government today is trying to prove that they have a citizen and provide service to their people? USB they are declared. This is how, and also issuing ID card, proving that there is a permanent population, and they said what? That they must provide a digital sovereignty. Digital sovereignty. What are these digital sovereignty? The digital sovereignties are passport, ID card, referendum, and what's not. That is what is called a digital sovereignty in this 21st century. And also said that a new country must win on the paper before winning on the ground. Well, we must continue. For how long are you going to wait in IPOB? For how long do you want to remain in IPOB? That's my question to you. Without having a government structure, without providing everything. And let me tell you today, if any group dares to issue ID card anywhere, they will arrest you holding that ID card. If it is not USB ID card, if you are holding any resident document, if it's not the IP, it's not USB document, you are sorry, you got to be deported from the country where you are. You are going to be deported from the country where you are. I hope you are still following. And I hope you are listening. It's not what I think. It's not how I feel. But like I told you, it is what the world feel. It is what the world think. It is the existing protocol. You had it here. It is on their criteria that we are going to shift Biafra as a country. You see, all these sorts of IPOB today, their noise will not stop US to declare tertiary recognition. No. The only that they are not studying is to delay and confuse more people. The only thing you see fake fallback Brgie is doing is to confuse you. The only thing you see Imam Adabi is doing to prove that he never won Biafra as a country because of those he's working for. If you want Biafra as a country, the evidence of who is on the right track is what? Through a peaceful word declaration and also forming a government structure, serving your people, issuing ID card and passport and preparing your people to go home. That is evidence. Is it not okay by you? Now, what else more? Diplomatic channels, establishing representative offices abroad and that functioning like quick embassy. This transition the movement from the social media advocacy to a formal engagement with the bodies like the United Nations, UN, and the EU and the European Union, EU, or also African Union, AU. Do you see where our peaceful declaration is moving us into? After the declaration, without declaration, no country we want to call you, no country want to see you. Now, a network, what is your problem today? I don't know what's wrong with my network today, honestly. I don't really know. YouTube, the enemies are trying to frustrate us with attack, but they can never go free. I hope my voice is coming despite the network problem. My voice, is it still coming out? We are under serious attack. Please, continue showering love emoji, please. Once you shower that love emoji, it does not remove any money from your YouTube page. It doesn't remove any money from your data or from your internet, nothing. Just, please. It helps to reduce the attack from the when it's coming from different angle, because this our page these days is always under attack. I hope I am coming out. Thank you so much. Obu 80, thank you so much. Please like and share. And the program is hanging, right? Because I can see my own hanging here. Is it hanging, my people? Or is it coming out to your own location nicely? So let me know what to do. Is it coming out on your own side nicely? So I will know what to do next if I will refresh the program. Are you hearing me clearly? Are you hearing me clearly? Are you hearing me clearly, please? I want to know, because the network is very, I don't understand what is happening. The only thing I know is that when attack comes, it always happens like that. Can you hear me clearly, please? Okay. Odegbonugu, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now, on this issue of transition from, look at how we are not, I am not calling anybody rebel, but to stand on what is there before us. Listen to this. The shift, the transition. Listen. The organization moves from rebel group. They have moved forward from a rebel group to a legal state in waiting, to a legal country in what? In waiting. They call it state in waiting. Now, the struggle. Unutilized international laws such as the Montevideo Convention that you can never hide. This Montevideo Convention is #1 criteria for you to become a full nation that the UN, EU, or AU that is going to recognize. Is very, very important, or is very, very sacrosanct at this time that we are into. that the world are listening. When people are moving, when the world are telling us what to do, is it because of that the world hide it from us? Is it why we are on this quagmire since over all these years? Is it why we are in this stage for how many decades? You are only protesting, and you are protesting. Nigeria is calling you names, and the world look at you and said, that's what? The organization moving from rebel, the organization group, IPOB, Massob, fake Fallback, Brgie, BGC, and Dr. Agi, and all these groups that you are seeing today, see as what? Rebel group. That you are not a state in waiting. By the transition from through the peaceful declaration transition into a state in waiting by implementing the Montevideo Convention of 1933 or the additional protocol of the Geneva Convention 1978. These are the laws as amended in this 2026 that are controlling the movement of you to have a new country. The world gave it to you in the open. Why are you making things difficult for yourself? Or because of your ego could not allow you to accept the truth? The truth is in this map here that we are seeing. That is what is the map. United States of Biafra. They want you to know the country that are blocking in. They did not say, go and ask if there's anything IPOB map. Let us see. Go and check if there's a Massob map with the name of Biafra. Go and check. Go and check if there is a BGC map. Go and check if there is any of, okay, remove that one by the side. Okay, go and check those that make peaceful declaration in this world. In this present 21st century, in the year of 2024, the name of Dr. Ngozi Abeze is there, proving that she is the one that made the declaration of United States of Biafra as a new country that is about to merge in the world. What else do you want her to do for you? What else do you need for you to know that she is bringing Biafra for you? That Biafra has come, that we have declared it, and we're only waiting as a country in waiting. You know what it means? Like when you come to somebody's door, you knock, you are waiting in the waiting room. The next thing is when the owner said, come inside, you now come inside the parlor and relax. That is why we are a sovereign state in the waiting room to approval of many countries, many allies, so we can become our own country. Is it this Biafra that has been declared that we are looking for? Is it this Biafra that has been declared that the map has entered? In the name United States of Biafra. Okay, let me ask you one question. Go and search right now. Go and search in the map countries that was made declaration with their map. Go and check again. You will see. IPOB, Massob, and the BGC are any organization that 100 men, 1,000 men, 50,000 men. Go and check in the Google. That stupid woman called Chimezie Neka. Please check. Can you know who those are bringing Biafra? That DOS is not bringing Biafra. There is no map called DOS. There is no map called IPOB. The only map you have in the world is United States of Biafra. That is the only map you have present right now that are going into the world map. Please tag me all these IPOB as your friend. Share this program. How can you tag them? The only way you can tag them is to share the program to them. Tell them to listen to this program. Do not take my word, or you take the one on the research on the existing protocol of the world. As I play it right now because of you. Please tag them. Tag BGC. Tag all these groups that are called, this group are making noise, social media. Tag them. Let us find out. Now we move. I want to play it again. Because of one reason, before I continue my explanation.
In the 21st century, a transition from a protest movement to a peaceful declaration of independence is a sophisticated administrative and legal process. It is no longer just about the act of declaring. It is about the institutionalization of a movement into a functioning state apparatus. This specific type of transition involves three critical pillars. 1. The legal transition, the Kosovo model. Modern transitions often rely on the precedent set by the ICJ Advisory Opinion on Kosovo, 2010. This established that a declaration of independence does not, by itself, violate international law. The shift. The organization moves from rebellion to legal assertion. The strategy. Utilizing international law, such as the Montevideo Convention or Additional Protocol I of the Geneva Conventions, to argue that the movement meets the objective criteria of statehood, a permanent population, a defined territory, and a government. 2. The administrative transition, building the shadow state. A peaceful declaration is only effective if the organization can immediately provide the services of a state. This is often called building the state from within. Identity and sovereignty, moving from protesting government IDs to issuing your own national ID cards, passports, and birth certificates. In the 21st century, this includes digital sovereignty, biometric databases, and secure registries. Diplomatic channels, establishing representative offices abroad that function like quasi-embassies. This transitions the movement from social media advocacy to formal engagement with bodies like the United Nations, UN, the European Union, EU, or the African Union, EU. Financial infrastructure, developing the capacity for banking and trade. A new country must prove it can manage a treasury and potentially a currency or digital asset to sustain its population. 3. The institutional transition, the Lati style, when a declaration happens peacefully, such as an event held in a neutral location or a formal ceremony, it marks the end of the protest phase.
Do you hear the one in Lati style? What was the style of the Lati? That is United States of Biafra were declared through the Congress of Rebels and cabinet members. That is what they told us. They are the one in Lati style. Our own declaration, the world has started using us as an example. The world has started using what happened in Helsinki, Lati, Finland, as an example of a peaceful declaration. And you are there. Calling Godra Bogoro, Godra Fulani, Alematu. Who do you like this? Nobody should be that. This your envy, your jealousness, I am telling you, that is not going to lead you anywhere at all. Rather, you are doing yourself more harm than good. And the person you are calling Orabugboro Fulani or Rabotero or Lematu, the world is bent, picking all the records she's breaking and putting it for you. In the next 5 years, people will be reading Biafran history, how the declaration happens, and those that make a declaration, and all these groups, where they will put you into is where you will belong. Like where they put the 8th group of Namibia people that did not make a declaration. I am here to remind you, I am here to give you all those hiding documents under this research. It's only you know why or what you are waiting for. And it's because of, it's not your group that declares it. And when one is taking an overtake, it's allowed. If you know the road and how to jump the gallops and this way you're going in time, who take first? Now you take first. So, and taking first sometimes might be from overtime, might be from overtake. Somebody might be there before you. But because of you know the road and the criteria, and they told us pop and plain here that for us to have Biafra as a country, that the rules of ICJ must be implied. That we must use their rules and their guidelines for us to achieve Biafra as our own country. This is what the world needs us to do, not what you need us to do. When we said That is what the world wants us to do, not what you want us to do, not what we want, not how I want. And this is the template of the international community. For those shouting, your USBG is not flowing the template of Simon. But told us in the open that the template to achieve Biafra is in the open, not in the secret places. Look at the open here, but because of you cannot research and find the truth out. That is why you are making on social media. Eating yourself, that is who you are. But Nigeria, you are for not us, not because of our better family. I told the time will come when you also sing, Holy, Holy, Ngozi Arabeze is another savior. Because through the peaceful declaration, she becomes another savior in this 21st century era. You see the way you are singing, Holy, Holy, Mazenande can is another savior. You are going to sing Simon Eba. We are going to sing it very soon in Biafra land. The same thing that happens that you and someone might enter secondary or primary school because of you are smart and intelligent, you pass this class and she repeated the class. So because of that person, you withdraw yourself back. USV are declared. The United States of Biafra has become only the legal government that the world knows that they exist in, or anything concerning Biafra as a country. They have already known that there is a legal government leading by Dr. Ngozi Arabeze. What you think? How you feel? The name calling cannot stop the movement. The name callings are not going to stop the movement. It's not about you. In the center of all this IPOB, just ask them, what is transition? When are you going to transition into a country after 27 years of agitation? After 14 years of Mazin and the Kano broadcasting and the agitation and the protesting on the streets. What have taken you 27 years or 14 years has taken Simon Ebanjoko through Ngozi Arabeze only 5 years to achieve that, and you are still making on social media. Can't you? Zukwenuanike, go and rest. What you don't know is bigger than you. So the only thing you have to do is what? Jezuanike, Zukwanuike. Rest. Let all the prayer that we said in your head work. Rest. Rest. You don't know if you don't know. It's not about coming on the streets and making noise. I'm going to get down to here. So you will see how the UN that you are expecting, how you see the ICJ that you are expecting, how you will see all these countries or those you are calling Netanyahu, Donald Trump, Putin, the one from African countries that are doing well, that you are expecting for them to talk. They cannot talk with a group that is under protest. No, they can only talk because they are a country. They can only talk with their fellow country. This is what it is. And it is what it is, no matter whether you like it or not, because you are not going to change it. The word also tells us that there is a existing protocol that we must adopt if you want Biafra as a nation. USB declared and adopted through Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, and all the cabinet members have adopted it. It's not about you. I said it's not about you. It is definitely not about you. It is about what they think and how they see it, what they feel, and how what they know, and how they have put in the protocol, how they for us to take. And now we have obtained and they agreed with all the protocols of the world, of the international community, not what you think, not your own constitution, not your own template. Listen to something good.
It marks the end of the protest phase and the beginning of the government phase. Internal discipline. The leadership must transition from protest leaders to ministers or...
It ends it's the transition and the leaders of the protest and they mark the beginning of a government. A peaceful declaration ends the time of agitation and the protest, and it marks the new beginning of a government structure. And you must move and work with the government, the world, and also it marks the beginning of a new nation that old nations and old countries is going to discuss their way forward with them. Sign agreements, sign the treaties, agree to the peace accord, and all this is what the world has put out to us to have Biafra as a country. And you want us to fall back, you want us to remain in IPOB, you want us to answer Massob, remain where you are. Sorry, it's your name. The same way we, that Biafran map that has lost in the world map, and through our peaceful declaration and the effort of the government of USB and the cabinet members, through the leader, Dr. Ngozi Arabeze, has brought the Biafran map back in the world map, in African map, in the curriculum of the world map. USB is there. What you will see there, they make it official, pointing the arrow that leads on the name United States of what? Biafra is what you can see in there. United States of what? Biafra. Not Massob, not IPOB. You can talk with your jargons for all the world cares. On the right time, on the D-Day, the world knows where to go. Let me tell you, it's not like the beginning, it's not like what happened before 1977. This time around, whether like it or not, on this legal document in the hands of the USB, we are declared, oh my people, do not panic. We are going home. We're already home. We are only seeking for only but one thing. The movement is 4. We have crossed 3. Remain only 1. Which one is that? The international recognition is what we are waiting for. Take it, leave it, believe it, doubt it, on your own cup of tea. I said what? On your own cup of what? Tea. When you doubt it, you're on your own. When you believe it, better for you. And you will join the moving train. You will join the moving train like all these countries that the woman has declared. 10 of them. I just picked 10. I keep on reminding you. So you will know that what she did, what others has did. And she will follow her fellow woman history. Get us recognition. Omegi Vamnanya. Omegi Vamnanya. Because able doubting Tamos. You claim you know when you know nothing. The easiest word is what? That what you don't know is bigger than you. My people, we move. The world is moving fast. We must move. They have given us criteria to follow. They give us also an example. They said that we to follow Kosovo way in this 21st century is going to work for us. Let us get to where Kosovo gets up to now. Then what happens? What remains? The world has moved on. You must learn how to We must learn how to transition to a government that can issue ID card and passport, that can provide a service to his people. What are those services? When you hear that somebody is in the deportation camp and he believes in the USB we are declared, once the government issue what? Resident permit of USB to he or her, is no longer to be deported back to Nigeria. That one is not enough for you as an pure evidence. Let's continue.
Or head of state. Documentary evidence.
He said what? That you should present yourself as head of state. That is why I give it to you 3 days ago. That UN addressed Dr. Ngozi Arabeze as head of state is only in your own eyes. That is Alihamatu. That is only in your own eyes. She's Ngozi Arabugboro. It's only in your own eyes. She's Ngozi Arabufulani. It's only in your own eyes. So much, the world don't know about that. So stop killing yourself. Stop. I hope you are following.
The declaration is backed by a body of evidence, treaties, historical maps, and legal.
The declaration is bound by what? By legal map. The declaration is bound by what? A legal means. An evidence. Evidence at hand. Evidence at hand. The document is a legal evidence of a nation in waiting. That is what they call what? Transition from protest rebel group, rebellion, rebel, insurgency, incitement, terror. That is what you are. And you are making noise. In the social media, IPOB, Massob, BGC, Dr. Tagi, all of you are what? Making noise. The world had chosen the rightful part of the legal means through the evidence of a peaceful declaration, legal document. The world will call it what? Transition. That is where we are. We are in a country in waiting for recognition. That country in waiting for recognition has pushed the map of the lost map of Biafra into the map of the world, and they call it what? On top of it, the only thing you can see is what? United States of Biafra. Not Ngozi Arabufulani, not Ngozi Arabugboro. It's not there. Yes, sometimes we have to make it look funny, what means tell us, for them people to understand what we are doing. We are not fighting with anybody. Because we have reached at what? At the last point. See, let me give you an example of football. You have first half, second half, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. And if it does not end, you go into the penalty. We are on the draw match. After 19 minutes and the 30th minute, we are only playing penalties, which can only take 10 minutes. In these 10 minutes, what does it simply mean? Waiting for the United States of Biafra recognition. Understand? My headmaster will ask you, understand? And I say, Sanda. When after our headmaster, or yes, our headmaster, after coming to on an assembly and tell us what to do in the school, after what we end it, understand, and I say, Sanda. That means that you understand it. Are you not happy for the progress of the USB? That whenever we go into the constitutions, the laws, the protocol, the Montevideo Conventions, the Geneva Convention, you find that USB we are declared on the legal movement. I told you, Ngozi Arabufulani, Ngozi Arabugboro, Ali Mahatu, she is the agent of Nigeria. Oh! For you and how you feel and what you think and the hegebugi or brambalielu, high BP, high blood pressure is what you're giving to yourself. And you can see her and the cabinet members smiling, enjoying, laughing, and doing the process. It's not do and die affair. It is only just illegal. And you must know before you can legal. What is your problem? Ego. Now me first day here now. Now don't be first start time. Which day you come in this struggle? It doesn't matter. What matters is the impact, and the right part of it is what matters. That is just it.
Briefs submitted to international courts and foreign governments to seek recognition. Comparison: 20th versus 21st century transitions. Feature 20th century transition, 21st century transition. Primary tool: arms struggle, decolonization. International law, diplomacy. Identity: physical passports only. Biometric IDs, digital sovereignty. Media: radio, underground press. Global social media, real-time advocacy. Recognition: bloc politics, Cold War, legal precedents, ICJ, UN, summary of the peaceful path. A 21st century transition is successful when the protest organization effectively replaces the functions of the old state with its own superior, peaceful, and legal administrative structures. The declaration is the moment the world is told that the work of building the state is already well underway. Would you like to look closer at the specific legal documents or the technical requirements for issuing internationally recognized ID cards during such a transition?
I hope. I see. Whenever after making this research, whenever I'm playing it out, I don't know the kind of joy that I normally have, because I only find out that even this government is running very speed for us to go home. This government is using autopilot, auxiliary gear, to push the world. What takes Namibia 8 years takes us 15 months, putting the map of USB they are declared in the world map. That is just it. It's proving to who is fighting for a new country. A new country is about diplomatic in Washington, D.C. with empty hand. Which you know, the word said that with the evidence at hand of a peaceful declaration proving that there is a new nation in waiting, which is a state or a country that other fellow countries, that it is a political movement of people to organize you. I don't know what you think, but whatever you may think, look at the best thinking here. Look at it here. Look at it on a platter of gold here. I will play it without saying a word, so you can record and send to them to listen. After that, we have been analyzing it, where I will put a link in case if anyone comes in, so you can join us.
In the 21st century, a transition from a protest movement to a peaceful declaration of independence is a sophisticated administrative and legal process. It is no longer just about the act of declaring. It is about the institutionalization of a movement into a functioning state apparatus. This specific type of transition involves three critical pillars. 1. The legal transition, the Kosovo model. Modern transitions often rely on the precedents set by the ICJ Advisory Opinion on Kosovo, 2010. This established that a declaration of independence does not, by itself, violate international law. The shift. The organization moves from rebellion to legal assertion. The strategy, utilizing international law, such as the Montevideo Convention or Additional Protocol I of the Geneva Conventions, to argue that the movement meets the objective criteria of statehood, a permanent population, a defined territory, and a government. 2. The administrative transition, building the shadow state. A peaceful declaration is only effective if the organization can immediately provide the services of a state. This is often called building the state from within. Identity and sovereignty, moving from protesting government IDs to issuing your own national ID cards, passports, and birth certificates. In the 21st century, this includes digital sovereignty, biometric databases, and secure registries. Diplomatic channels, establishing representative offices abroad that function like quasi-embassies. This transitions the movement from social media advocacy to formal engagement with bodies like the United Nations, UN, the European Union, EU, or the African Union, EU. Financial infrastructure, developing the capacity for banking and trade. A new country must prove it can manage a treasury and potentially a currency or digital asset to sustain its population. 3. The institutional transition, the Lati style, when a declaration happens peacefully, such as an event held in a neutral location or a formal ceremony. It marks the end of the protest phase and the beginning of the government phase. Internal discipline. The leadership must transition from protest leaders to ministers or head of state. Documentary evidence. The declaration is backed by a body of evidence, treaties, historical maps, and legal briefs, submitted to international courts and foreign governments to seek recognition. Comparison. 20th versus 21st century transitions. Feature 20th century transition, 21st century transition. Primary tool. Arms struggle, decolonization. International law, diplomacy. Identity. Physical passports only. Biometric IDs. Digital sovereignty. Media. Radio, underground press. Global social media, real-time advocacy. Recognition. Bloc politics, Cold War. Legal precedents, ICJ, UN. Summary of the peaceful path. A 21st century transition is successful when the protest organization effectively replaces the functions of the old state with its own superior, peaceful, and legal administrative structures. The declaration is the moment the world is told that the work of building the state is already well underway. Would you like to look closer at the specific legal documents or the technical requirements for issuing internationally recognized ID cards during such a transition?
Yes, as we are proceeding, are you still doubting USV are declared? You can see everything about transition and how other countries in the world has transitioned into a world. They always give you one example that look at what you will do and how you will follow or how the government will work. So you can be able to achieve what we are looking for. So today, after this our peaceful declaration, it is a time to understand fully who is giving you Biafra as a country. So there is no other way. It's only through this means that the world has given us that this is where we can achieve this our country peacefully. And you who don't want a peaceful declaration, what else do you want? What do you really need if you don't want Biafra as a country? Sorry, 1 minute, my people. 1 minute. So, my people, the time we are into is no longer when someone will just come here and they do us anyhow, and you think they want you to believe in that. No. The time has gone. The time has what? Has gone. If you know whatever that it takes for have a new country, that is what USB is giving us. Tell me, if you are feeling USB are declared, everything you are hearing here today, is it anyone missing? Everything that you are hearing from this research or from this protocol of the UN or from Montevideo Convention or Geneva Convention, I want to ask you, is it anyone that is missing? Okay, the one you want is those who stand one place for 14 good years. If you might know the era of Massob to time of Mazen Nandekan, it is the 14 years. that they are doing protest agitation without transition. So when is IPOB organization the master of protest? When are they going to transition to prove that they want Biafra as a country? When? In what year is it going to happen? Well, before we go into our analysis, let us see some comments on the comment section. Comment our people here deserve to be, so let us see what they have for us. I see you, Alore said, PM Simon told us that he is not going to fight for Biafra forever, that he is giving himself 5 years period to declare Biafra, and it was done by DPM Dr. Ngozi Orabeze on his behalf. USB we are declared. That is it. That is exactly what we are saying. That is how the world is viewed and how the world is what we are doing. Then mommy said, you are very funny. Only the jealous and the envy Adandosho and her group calling DPM names. Yeah, that's what it is. That is it. That is where we are. Bishop Anaga said, I am a citizen of United States of Biafra, leading by Dr. Ngozi Orabeze. We are declared November 29, 2024 in Lahti, Finland. That the same Lahti they are using here as an example. That is the Lahti they are using here as an example. So I want you to know that what we are doing, the world are keeping record of it. It's not about what anybody think. Oh. It is about what the world think and how they feel and how they do their thing. How they do their thing is quite different from how you do your own. That is why it's all about the thinking, the reason of the world, not how you reason and not how you feel. That is, I'm putting the link in case if you want to join me on the platform to also put your own thoughts into what we are doing today. That is the link to come in. You can come in through this link, please, if you want to. From where you are, if you have time, use that link and join me on the platform as we are moving. You can join me via this link. So, when we are doing something, and what you are doing in this movement, what's that thing that Chiamaka Ajere, Ugo 247, are claiming that they are fighting for Biafra? Where does it happen in this world? That's why I said, let them bring one example of a country where these things that they are doing has happened in this life. If they bring only one country where this has happened in this world, believe you, like I said, I will bring 10 to counter what the lies and the propaganda they're bringing out. I will bring 10 to prove them wrong, that what you are saying has never happened anywhere in this world. And how could you be applying something that has never happened anywhere in this world, and you think that people like us in this 21st century will listen to that? If what we are doing does not have meaning and never happen anywhere, there is no need doing it, my people. There is what? There is no need doing it, because it is not going to give us Biafra as a country. We want to do what will give us Biafra as a country. And what will give us Biafra as a country, that is what the USB we are declared is doing. through a peaceful transition by declaration. Through this, then we are transitioned into what? A nation that are waiting for the international recognition. There is no other way around. There is only one way. There is only one road. And that road is what those that never loved us has put. But for us to achieve it, will we act as if we love them? Will we act like we love what they are doing? Then, when we achieve what we are doing, then we can also tell them, no, it's not going to be this way, and we are not flowing by this way. Then we can have a mouth to talk. Because you can only have mouth to talk where you are being welcomed. When in a place that you are not being welcomed, you can't be on the fence and be talking. Whatever you see IPOB is doing is be on the fence and throwing stone inside someone's house. You must be inside house for people to hear your voice. And how can you be inside this house? It is by this our peaceful declaration called transition into a country in waiting. Remember that we have put the link for you in case if you want to join us. That is the link. That is the link you are seeing here. Number 1, the legal transition, the Kosovo mode. Modern transition often rely on the precedent set by the ICJ. Are you hearing it? It's not our own template. It's not by our own template. But there is those who set this law, and they are ICJ, International Community Justice. They are the one, including the human rights activists and all of them. Advocacy on option on Kosovo, 2010, 21st century, that started from 2001. This established that a declaration of independence does in a right way by not by violent international law. Through a peaceful declaration, it simply means that you are not violating the international law. And the ones you are not violating the international law, they now said they shifted the organization from the rebellion group to a legal way of having a new country. The strategies. International law, such as the Montevideo Convention or Additional Protocol 1 of the Geneva Convention, to argue that the movement met the objective criteria of a statehood of a new nation, a permanent population, a divine territory, and the government structure. Are you hearing it? These are the ways that the world wants us to do what? For us to achieve Biafra as our own country. The administrative transition, building the shadow state first by a government in exile. A peaceful declaration is only effective if the organization can immediately prove the service of a state. Today, USB is proving the service of a country or a state. This is often called the building the state from waiting. It's called what? Building a state From what? From waiting. Number 2. Then, number 2 have 1A, 1B, and 1C. Now listen to this. Identity and the sovereignty. Moving from protest government, issuing ID card, your own government digital sovereignty, database, and securing registration of that database, proving a service of a government of a new country in waiting. Diplomatic channels, establishing, representing offices abroad and functioning like embassies, happen to register under organization. This transition, the movement from social media advocacy to a formal argument with bodies like the United Nations, UN, the European Nation, EU, or the African Union, AU, because of the peaceful declaration that the world called the transit of a new nation. The transition removes you from protest group, rebel group. This is what the world see you as a government structure. That is, they are seeing all these things inside the United States of Biafra government. That is why they see us as a country. That is why the Biafran map has included in the map of the world, in the name on top of it, United States of Biafra, as our own country. Now, when you made this declaration and all this peaceful declaration, what next? What next is to prove that your country is what? Diplomatic channels. The diplomatic channel is not only in the Washington, D.C. The diplomatic channels means sending the evidence of the peaceful declaration to the branches and the offices of the United Nations, where that the peaceful declaration document has given you a legal right to challenge, to do arguments in the United Nations, the European Union, EU, and the African Union, AU, because of what? The transition through a peaceful declaration with the legal document. Also, proving a government in waiting, financial infrastructures, developing the capital for the banking and the trade. A new country must prove it can manage treasure and the political currency for digital assets to suit the option of the United Nations and the international bodies. Number 3, please remember there is a link there. If you want to join me, you can use the link to join the program. The instructional transition, the Lati style of the USB were declared. When a declaration happens peacefully, such as event hiding in a natural location or a formal ceremony, it makes the end of the protest perhaps and the beginning of the government perhaps. Our peaceful declaration ends the protest, is the end of any protest in the eyes of the United Nations, in the eyes of the EU, in the eyes of the AU, in the eyes of the Commonwealth, in the eyes of all the continents in the world. Remember the word. It means the end of the protest, perhaps, and the beginning of the government of a new country, perhaps. Internal discipline. The leadership must transition from protest leaders to minister of head of state, to minister or head of state. That is why in our previous 3 days program here, we discussed about the United Nations regarding Dr. Ngozi Arabe's document that was sent to the United Nations as the head of state. And why you are here ranting, shouting, Ngozi Arabu Fulani, Ngozi Arabu Goro, Ngozi Arabu this, Ngozi Alematu, Ngozi born in Sokoto, and all this. Are you not afraid of yourself with all the evidence at hand? You refuse to accept there is 21st century. You refuse to accept there is a transition. You refuse to accept that there is something will change your name from who you are to a real name that you're supposed to be. Continue doing yourself more harm than good. Continue making yourself the enemy of the Biafran people. The D-Day is coming. After this heavy rain, there will be a sunshine. After this darkness, there must be light. Do not forget. What you say today can be used to judge you in the next 20 years to come. Do not say it's just social media something. No. This is where the deal is happening. And this is where the world gets all the information they need to get. I am telling you, I am trying to let you know that the road you are towing can never lead to recognition. That is the things I want you to know. And I also want you to know that all this road that you have followed can never stop the recognition of USB we are declared. The only thing you are doing is that you are delaying it. For those in the homeland, I want you to know that if you believe in Ogenkere, if you believe in Chiamaka JRL propaganda, if you are still I don't know who, and the other Orama, you are delaying Biafra. You don't want Biafra as a country. The only time that you prove that you want Biafra as a country, when you stand on the USB we are declared. That is the only time. I am telling you to know. I also want you to know that your ignorance is not an excuse in the eyes of the international global community. Look at what they ask us to do. Look at the template. Look at what they call it what? Existing protocol 1 of Geneva Convention. We must adopt that. And USB has already adopted it. That is why you can see the map. That is why UN can address our DPM as what? They address her as the head of state. Not like Alematu, not like Ngozi Arabu Fulani, not like all this noise that are going on today in social media. The world are not going to see us in that way that you are seeing this movement that we are into. The way of the international global community is quite different. That is the same way. The only thing you like is when you talk about Radio Rama. That is how the same thing with you. When you like to hear about BGC and all they are doing, they cannot, they are nobody. Stop wasting your data. It's also when you like for us to talk about what their action and they are debunking their lies. That is what they call internal matter that will not give us Biafra. But when we go beyond the external, like what we are doing, trying to read the document of the world and find out what the government is doing and how it's going to work for us, and you continue refusing to adopt towards that, I can only tell you to continue doing yourself more harm than good. That is my simple advice to you. That is it. This is 21st century, where everything is in the hands of us and also to respect the enemies and dine and wine with them as if they are the best option for us. But you know why we are doing that? We are showing that life because of we need to get something from them. And because of what we want to get from them, that is why we must continue. That is why we must let the world to know that we are no longer playing. That on this stage that we are into, that we as the Biafran people has moved on with our life, that we have transitioned into a country in waiting through the means of peaceful declaration, and the world recognized a peaceful declaration document so much. We continue. Internal discipline. The leadership must transition from protest leaders to a minister of head of state. You must leave protest leader, proving that you are a head of state. You also have a ministers that are working under the head of state. Oh, I'm asking you, is it not what USB had declared is doing in this 21st century? We continue. Comparison. 20th versus 21st century transition. What does it mean in future? The 20th transition, 21st transition, let us see how it works. Primary tool, the 20th century armed struggle, decolonization. 21st century peaceful declaration, international laws and diplomacy. Jojo. Future identity, physical passport only, bilateral ID card and digital sovereignty first for 21st century. What they want us to use. 21st century and what they want us to do what? To use. I hope that you are listening. And I hope that you are understanding it. These are the areas that I want you to understand. And this is what we need to know. I hope you are following. It's not about gragra. Then media, radio, underground press, global social media, real-time advocacy. That is what they want us to do. If for those who IPOB underground, you can see what they are doing. You can see all their actions. And you can see that the world has changed. No more they do underground press. What they did is what? Global social media, real-time advocacy of USB re-declared in the eyes of the international global community. Recognition, political Cold War in 20th centuries. Then 21st centuries, legal precedent ICJ and the UN, EU and the AU recognition is what the world are looking for in this 21st century from our hand. Now, summary of this peaceful part. A 21st century transition is successfully when the protest organization effectively replace the functioning of old states within their own superior, peaceful, and the legal administrative structures. The declaration is the moment the world is told that the work of the building the new state is already well underway. Well under what? Underway. This is what the world is looking from our hand in this 21st century. This is how they want us to move on. This is how they want us to go. This is what they're expecting from us. And what you see here, how the world reason. Is it how we reason? How the world view things? Is it how we are viewing things? Is it protest will give us Biafra as a country? The answer is no. The transition, removing yourself from the protest rebel group to the international global community, the agreement, and what they want us to do is what we are doing. Can you swallow your pride and your ego and pay attention and listen to the words? The IPOB organization structure is not a government structure of the standard of the international global community. Can you see that? And can you understand it? Can you now see that the way of the world are quite different from our own way? I hope you are listening. And I hope you are following. Like I said, I'm going to drop the link again in case if you want to join the program, so you can join us. Amy Christ, I see you. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate you. Chieboza Peter, I greet you and you are welcome to the platform. So I am dropping the link in case if you want to join us. You can join me through this link I am dropping right now. If you want to join me, that is the link to join. And let me hear your voice. And let me see how you see what USB is doing. Under the criteria of the international global community. As I am playing from the beginning, then you may understand. So you can be able to join the program and you may contribute. We are starting from the grassroots. So listen to this. Let us play the audio.
The term transition generally refers to the process or period of changing from one state, condition, or place to another. Because it is a broad concept, its specific meaning depends on the context in which it's used. Here is a breakdown of how transition is defined across different fields. 1. General and personal change. In everyday life, a transition is a passage from one stage of life to another. Examples: moving from being a student to a full-time professional, relocating to a new country, or retiring from a long career. Characteristics: these periods often involve a sense of in-betweenness, where the old way of living has ended but the new one isn't yet fully established. 2. Science and nature. In technical fields, transition describes a shift in physical properties or biological stages. Physics, chemistry. A phase transition occurs when a substance changes states, such as water freezing into ice or boiling into steam. Genetics. A point mutation where one purine base is replaced by another purine, or a pyrimidine by another pyrimidine. 3. Writing and rhetoric. In communication, transitions are words, phrases, or sentences that connect ideas. Purpose. They prevent choppy writing and help the reader follow the logic of an argument. Examples: words like however, consequently, furthermore, or meanwhile act as bridges between thoughts. 4. Music and media. Music, a passage that connects two main sections of a composition, often shifting the key or tempo to prepare the listener for a new theme. Video editing, the technique used to move from one shot to another, such as a fade, dissolve, or cut. 5. Government and policy. In a political context, a power transition occurs when a new administration takes over from an outgoing one. Focus. This often involves the transfer of records, personnel, and departmental authority to ensure stability and continuity of governance. Summary table. Common transitions. Context. From. To. Education. High school. University. Thermodynamics. Liquid. Gas. Career. Employee. entrepreneur, music, verse, chorus. Is there a specific area, such as business, law, or personal growth, where you are looking to apply this concept?
We continue.
In the context of 21st century state building, the shift from a protest organization to a formal declaration of independence is a profound and complex political transition. While transition usually implies a smooth change in the realm of international law and sovereignty, it represents a move from non-state actor status to an assertion of statehood. Here is how that transition typically breaks down in a modern global context. 1. The institutional transition. This is the internal process of turning a movement into a government. It involves moving from agitation, protests, to administration, governance. From activism to bureaucracy, developing departments for health, education, and finance. Drafting frameworks, creating a constitution or a foundational legal document that defines the new state's values and structure. Civil service, transitioning from volunteers and activists to trained administrators who can manage public services. 2. The legal transition, the Montevideo criteria. In the 21st century, a declaration of independence is often measured against the Montevideo Convention criteria. To transition successfully in the eyes of the international community, an entity must demonstrate a defined territory, clear borders, even if contested. A permanent population, a community that identifies with the new state. A government, effective control over the people and territory. Capacity for international relations, the ability to enter into treaties and trade. 3. The digital and administrative transition. Modern statehood in the 2020s involves a digital transition. A new country today doesn't just need a flag, it needs a functional administrative infrastructure, identity management, issuing passports, ID cards, and birth certificates that meet international standards, like ICAO for travel. Financial sovereignty, establishing a central bank, a currency, physical or digital, and a tax system. Diplomatic engagement, moving from social media advocacy to formal, quiet diplomacy with established nations and international bodies like the UN or O. Challenges of 21st century transitions. Unlike the decolonization era of the 1960s, modern transitions face higher hurdles. The status quo bias. The international community is often hesitant to recognize new states to avoid regional instability. Legal scrutiny. International courts, like the ICJ, are often involved in determining the legality of a declaration, e.g., the Kosovo Advisory Opinion. Interdependence. No new country can survive in isolation. The transition is only complete when the new state can participate in global trade and banking systems. Key distinction. A declaration is a statement of intent. A transition is the long-term work of building the institutions that make that declaration a reality. Would you like to explore how specific historical examples, like the transition of Namibia or the legal strategies used in the Kosovo case, compare to modern movements?
I hope you have listened to it. And I have go for 3 hours. Only me. So if anybody joins us, we continue. If nobody joins, then I am going to end the program here. Because of we need to come back again. We need to do the work. When we do, we come back the next day to continue the program. So we are going to come back late in the night, the midnight, to continue from where we stop. Because we are going to play this transition for all of us, or this message is for those IPOB, BGC, Massob, all of them, name them. Name them. They are the one I am doing this program for. For them to know that that road that they are going, that there is no road there, that road can never give us Biafra as a country. Rather, that the only thing that will give us Biafra as a country is what? Only USB re-declared is only option we have at this 21st century. And on that process, on that mandate, that all of us must stand on it to achieve our own country. It's no longer the time of protest. It's no longer the time of agitation. It's no longer to claim or to say what you think and how you feel. No, that time has gone. It is a time to do it the way that others has done it in the past. That is where we are at this time. So if you want to join us, you can by joining the link and tell us what you feel about today's program and what you think that we should do more for us to have our own country. It is in our hand in this 21st century. It's not in the hiding place. And if you are waiting for somebody to give you Biafra as a country, I just want you to know that you are not doing us good. Rather, you are also among those who never believe that Biafra will come in our time. The only way that Biafra will come in our time is when you, as a person, believe in the USB we are declared as the only option and as the only hope we have in this 21st century that we all must accept. Without you accepting this, I want to tell you that you are making a very big mistake. You are doing what? Making a very big what? Mistake. But when you stand on the USB we are declared, that is when you are doing everything humanly possible for the world to know that we are on the right track.
Of such a
Listen to
heroic
this.
people. Today I stand before you to proclaim that our heroic youth in the various fronts have turned the tide of this war. They have smashed all enemy offensives directed at our destruction. In the air, they have destroyed systematically the sinews of Nigeria's military might. The Biafran Air Force, small as it is, has stopped the entire oil flow of Nigeria from the mainland west. All protestations to the contrary by the British Broadcasting Corporation and Harold Wilson are mere wishful thinking. Our gallant boys are men tempered of steel. They have wrested the initiative from the Gawan enemy, and the Nigerian hordes are in trepidation and on the point of rout. The confusion of the enemy in the battlefields is only matched by the confusion in his home. Fight on, brave boys, fight on, heroes of our fatherland. Pursue the enemy, harass him, destroy the invader. March on, brave boys, now that victory is in sight. March on and hasten the disintegration of the enemy already set in motion. March on, young men.
Yes, my fellow Biafrans. Like I said, I dropped the link in case if you want to join me, then you can join me to move the program forward.
Proud to be a servant of such a heroic people. Today I stand before you to proclaim that our heroic youth in the various fronts have turned the tide of this war. They have smashed all enemy offensives directed at our destruction. In the air, they have destroyed systematically the sinews of Nigeria's military might. The Biafran Air Force, small as it is, has stopped the entire oil flow of Nigeria from the mainland west. All protestations to the contrary by the British Broadcasting Corporation and Harold Wilson are mere wishful thinking. Our gallant boys are men tempered of steel. They have wrested the initiative from the Gawan enemy, and the Nigerian hordes are in trepidation and on the point of rout. The confusion of the enemy in the battlefields is only matched by the confusion in his home. Fight on, brave boys, fight on, heroes of our fatherland. Pursue the enemy, harass him, destroy the invader. March on, brave boys, now that victory is in sight. March on and hasten the disintegration of the enemy already set in motion. March on, young men. Proud to be a servant of such a heroic people. Today I stand before you to proclaim that our heroic youth in the various fronts have turned the tide of this war. They have smashed all enemy offensives directed at our destruction. In the air, they have destroyed systematically the sinews of Nigeria's military might. The Biafran Air Force, small as it is, has stopped the entire oil flow of Nigeria from the mainland world. All protestations to the contrary by the British Broadcasting Corporation and Harold Wilson are mere wishful thinking. Our gallant boys are men tempered of steel. They have wrested the initiative from the Gawan enemy, and the Nigerian hordes are in trepidation and on the point of rout. The confusion of the enemy in the battlefields is only matched by the confusion in his home. Fight on, brave boys, fight on, heroes of our fatherland. Pursue the enemy, harass him, destroy the invader. March on, brave boys, now that victory is in sight. March on and hasten the disintegration of the enemy already set in motion. March on, young men.
Why do I play this? After listening to that audio voice. Now, how are we marching on? The world has walked away from the battlefield of 1967 to 1970. That time that Chukwuemeka Odumegwu failed. That time that Chukwuemeka Odumegwu failed with the military of Biafra. That's why the world are using battlefields to prove someone who will have a new country in 80s, 90s, and 20th centuries. We did not win through the gun and bullets. And do you think today that we can win through gun and bullets? Do you think that? The only way we can win is through this legal movement. And you can see that this legal movement has already putting us in there where we're supposed to belong. This legal way has put us where we're supposed to do what? Belong. That is why you are seeing the map. That is why we are one of the most effective, powerful exile government in this world. March on by supporting USB we are declared. March on by funding USB we are declared. That in the legal movement of it is all about funding. That is why I play you this video, to encourage you to know that the only way this time around is through this peaceful declaration. Through this peaceful means that we have adopted based on the 21st century law that is going to help us to achieve Biafra without no one killing us anymore. Without no one taking our life away from us. Why can't we march on and join USB we are declared, support and walk away from political and the protest rebel group that the world has tagged everyone in the name of protest? Can't you see that? So, on this junction, we are drawing the curtain down. Wait for us in some few hours again that we are going to be here to narrow it down again to you, and all of us we may understand why our peaceful declaration is only way for us to survive. Hey, Mommy Maureen, you are late. You join us as we are about to close. You're welcome. Maybe you watch later. Please, if you are not supporting USB declare, we are declared, that I have proved to you that the only option we have is what? Only USB re-declared, and all the jobs that they are doing, like Chukwuemeka Odumegwu using war and the boys of Biafra military trying to destroy the enemies, despite the help of Great Britain and those done against us, the war fight against us then. Today now we are going to legal. Let us see how they're going to fight against us anymore. I want us to know that good things, there is a hard job in good things. Do not think that these good things will come freely or just easy like that for us to have it. I am telling you to support the movement of the USB re-declared. Let me see if I can play the document once again. So for those who are joining us, so there we know what we discussed today and why is the only remedy into what we are doing at this stage that we are into. So let us see. Let us hear it again. So hear this as we're about to close. Our program today lies on the transition. How our peaceful declaration is the most effective transition that leads to new nation. Without transition from primary one to secondary school, to university level, there is nothing you are doing. That is how the game is, and we're on the final point. Listen once again.
The term transition generally refers to the process or period of changing from one state, condition, or place to another. Because it is a broad concept, its specific meaning depends on the context in which it's used. Here is a breakdown of how transition is defined across different fields. 1. General and personal change. In everyday life, a transition is a passage from one stage of life to another. Examples: moving from being a student to a full-time professional, relocating to a new country, or retiring from a long career. Characteristics: these periods often involve a sense of in-betweenness, where the old way of living has ended but the new one isn't yet fully established. 2. Science and nature. In technical fields, transition describes a shift in physical properties or biological stages. Physics, chemistry. A phase transition occurs when a substance changes states, such as water freezing into ice or boiling into steam. Genetics. A point mutation where one purine base is replaced by another purine, or a pyrimidine by another pyrimidine. 3. Writing and rhetoric. In communication, transitions are words, phrases, or sentences that connect ideas. Purpose. They prevent choppy writing and help the reader follow the logic of an argument. Examples: words like however, consequently, furthermore, or meanwhile act as bridges between thoughts. 4. Music and media. Music. A passage that connects two main sections of a composition, often shifting the key or tempo to prepare the listener for a new theme. Video editing. The technique used to move from one shot to another, such as a fade, dissolve, or cut. 5. Government and policy. In a political context, a power transition occurs when a new administration takes over from an outgoing one. Focus. This often involves the transfer of records, personnel, and departmental authority to ensure stability and continuity of governance. Summary table. Common transitions. Context. From. To. Education. High school. University. Thermodynamics. Liquid. Gas. Career. Employee. Entrepreneur. Music. Verse. Chorus. Is there a specific area, such as business, law, or personal growth, where you are looking to apply this concept?
I hope you had it. That is how transition happens, and there is no other way. So for those who are making mockery of themselves, they need to know that the truth must be told at all time, and there is nothing like this time around the thing they called IPOB organization. We have transitioned into a country. Now they said, how do you want to use this transition? Now, based on us, listen to this. Listen.
In the context of 21st century state building, the shift from a protest organization to a formal declaration of independence is a profound and complex political transition.
Listen carefully.
While transition usually implies a smooth change in the realm of international law and sovereignty, it represents a move from non-state actor status to an assertion of statehood. Here is how that transition typically breaks down in a modern global context. 1. The institutional transition. This is the internal process of turning a movement into a government. It involves moving from agitation, protests, to administration, governance. From activism to bureaucracy, developing departments for health, education, and finance. Drafting frameworks, creating a constitution or a foundational legal document that defines the new state's values and structure. Civil service, transitioning from volunteers and activists to trained administrators who can manage public services. 2. The legal transition, the Montevideo criteria. In the 21st century, a declaration of independence is often measured against the Montevideo Convention criteria. To transition successfully in the eyes of the international community, an entity must demonstrate a defined territory, clear borders, even if contested. A permanent population, a community that identifies with the new state. A government, effective control over the people and territory. Capacity for international relations, the ability to enter into treaties and trade. 3. The digital and administrative transition. Modern statehood in the 2020s involves a digital transition. A new country today doesn't just need a flag, it needs a functional administrative infrastructure, identity management, issuing passports, ID cards, and birth certificates that meet international standards, like ICAO for travel. Financial sovereignty, establishing a central bank, a currency, physical or digital, and a tax system. Diplomatic engagement, moving from social media advocacy to formal, quiet diplomacy with established nations and international bodies like the UN or O. Challenges of 21st century transitions. Unlike the decolonization era of the 1960s, modern transitions face higher hurdles. The status quo bias. The international community is often hesitant to recognize new states to avoid regional instability. Legal scrutiny. International courts, like the ICJ, are often involved in determining the legality of a declaration, e.g., the Kosovo Advisory Opinion. Interdependence. No new country can survive in isolation. The transition is only complete when the new state can participate in global trade and banking systems. Key distinction. A declaration is a statement of intent. A transition is the long-term work of building the institutions that make that declaration a reality. Would you like to explore how specific historical examples, like the transition of Namibia or the legal strategies used in the Kosovo case, compare to modern movements?
I hope you have listened for over 3 hours. 20 minutes that we are here. That is why I want to know that you must stand on the USB we are declared. Found this government. Take your ID card. When the passport comes out, we take it also. This is how to prove that there is a government. And after a peaceful declaration, the last transition is recognition that we are looking for. In all the criteria for us to achieve it, or to be on the same plate, where we can address the United Nations, the USB has overmet all these criteria. That's why I'm telling you that the USB we are declared has no copy. There is no arrival. Forget those that are making noise. The question to all the gullible is, please ask IPOB organization, what is transition? Ask BGC, what is transition? Transition is only when you move from a structure, from organization into a country in waiting that are seeking for. You must be a country before you can seek for diplomatic recognition. All the diplomatic criteria must be with you on this law of the Geneva Convention, Protocol 1 observed by the University of Biafra. You must declare it a country. You must stand as a country. Then after that, that is when other countries can easily talk to you. Country talk to a country. Let me give you an example. There's a time you will go out there, you will fight with your fellow young man or your age mate. When the father brings back to your house, the father will say, okay, no, I will go. When your father comes back, I will come. Or tell your father that I find that I come to his house, let him look for me. This is how fathers talk to father. Why children talk to children. So all these children, IPOB, BGC, Massob, and all these groups that you're seeing today, that they have never transitioned into a country in waiting. You must transition into a country in waiting. How do you transition? When you are an organization that do protest, the word said that you must transition from a protest rebel group to a declaration of a new state that is a country in waiting. Now, what else again? When you are a country in waiting, then you will put a government structures. What are they said? You will transition from a leader of a protest to a minister or to a head of a state. This is how the transition works. The same way it works in the school. From nursery to primary, from primary to secondary, from secondary to university, and to graduation. Is it not somebody who went to university will graduate? Is it not you who is a country that other countries will recognize and see you as a country? This is how the world that we are on it describe our movement. It doesn't matter what anybody think. It doesn't matter how you feel. It's not about you. It is about the international global community. March on by supporting the USB we are declared that has put the map of the Biafra in the world map, in African map today. Only that thing can show you something. If that thing does not has a meaning to you, you see this, you are ignorant. It's not an excuse in the eyes of the law. You are ignorant is not an excuse in the eyes of the law. That is the things I want to understand. You see all this scenario of IPOB, I'm telling you, all those things are just a mere story. They are what? Agitators. For how long do you think that we be on the page of agitators? For how long? When the world has given us a way, telling us that a peaceful transition is only way to have Biafra as a country. Once again, that is the link there. In case if you want to join me, you can hit the like button and join the program and tell us what you feel. What do you think about USB we are declared and with presently on this our document today, on this our research, transition, a family transition from a boy married to a girl, giving a childbirth, they are transitioning into what? A full family. IPOB, Massob, fake fallback Brgie, BGC, and every other group, including Dr. Agi, when are you going to transition into a country so the world can listen? The only thing for transition to use to make Biafran peoples, to make them to steal their money. That is all you care. It's all about money. But when it comes to criteria, who wants a country? Our DPM, Dr. Ngozi Rabeze, is the only one who is on that particular structure that UN are looking for. That that every the world are seeing it as this a real country that we needed to be on it. So my people, the program will end from here. This is roughly 3 hours and so I only want you to know that we have way to have Biafra as a country. So stop delaying. Stop your caricature. You are delaying yourself. You are doing yourself more harm than good. So my people, I want to know that if you are here for money, USB is here to end you, and that's you think that the name of Biafra is money-making machine. The time has come and gone. It's no longer there. I have given it to you. USB has transitioned and left all of you behind. So, according to our program today, this is where we are going to draw the curtain. So I thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. May Elohim continue to protect you and bless you as we continue to move towards our new country very, very soon, as we are seeking for what? International recognition that are very, very important at this stage that we are into. So please, build USB we are declared. Do not waste your time. Stop wasting your money. I appreciate you. Once again, happy Sunday. See you in the next few hours again. Thank you so much. One love, my people.